All right, Reg, man, how's it going?
Man, glad to be seen and not viewed.
I agree with that, man. Like I was telling you, I've been seeing your progress and every interview, you know what I'm saying? You've already went over your COVID story, so I don't think we need to go over it again. But, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say, man, I'm glad you're doing good, man, and doing better.
Appreciate you saying that, brother.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I've been watching every interview. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing your strength get a little bit more, man.
Yeah, that's the bad thing, getting back fat.
Oh no, that's definitely the bad thing.
Yeah,
But I'm sure as soon as you get better, you'll get that taken care of, man.
yeah,
It'll be a lot more easier when you're moving and everything.
exactly.
But man, I thought we'd start about death row and who started death row.
Who's the creator of Death Row?
Yeah, who started it? Who made it?
Well, okay. There's two stories. You got one story where it was Suge, Dre, Doc, and this guy named Dick Griffey. Then you got another story where it's Suge, Michael Herrio, and Dre. And then you got the story that I believe or subscribe to, Suge and Dre.
So you don't think Harry-O had anything to do with it?
I think Herrio solicited money from friends that he was doing business with prior to going into prison and had them invest into the company.
So he did have some involvement in it, with the money part though.
As far as getting people to help fund some projects that was on Death Row, correct?
Now, was there another person? Because I believe in Keefe D's book, he talks about another person.
Yeah. Everybody keep wanting to make me say that name. And that man trying to stay low key and out of the business, but I'll just call him PJ.
Okay.
And then let everybody go from there. But that's the one guy of a couple that I believe that Herrio convinced him to invest some money into the company.
Okay, now that they've invested into the company, how tied in are they with Death Row?
Well, I don't know what their business arrangements were, but apparently you don't put up no money and don't have any business arrangements in it. But where Herrio messed up at, in my opinion, is he settled with Interscope Records and Death Row in 1995, where he got $300,000. And he gave up his rights. That's why Interscope never got sued. Or that's why the lawsuit with Interscope was dropped. Where even if Death Row would have went, and all Suge had to do, not to file bankruptcy, was go to the court and say, the paperwork of the agreement that Interscope is filing, I make the same claim. And that judgment would have never been assigned to Death Row for $100 million because Interscope paid off Michael Herrio in 1995, 1996.
Why was he paid off at that point?
To make lawsuits go away.
So Harry-O was suing at that time too?
Correct. He sued then in 1995, 1996.
Was he not getting compensated properly? What was making him sue? Do you know?
Yeah. He felt that he was shortchanged or he wasn't compensated as he would have liked to be. And Suge's position was always, it's not your money, bro. You just made an introduction. And that's what the position that David Kenner, who was Harry Boy, who was his criminal attorney, and that was the position that they took in 95, 96. Not saying that David was right or wrong, but that's the position that they took.
So there's always this situation that we hear about between the Bounty Hunter Bloods and Suge Knight, and that Harry-O had something to do with it. Is there any truth to any of that?
There was a meeting in the bathroom at a video shoot for OFTB, Operation from the Bottom, a group that was on Death Row. But Suge had about 6 or 7 of his homeboys out there. So all of that, the time about they pushed up on him, was hitting him and all of that, that's not true. But if y'all want to believe that, go ahead. But ask BJ the next time you're telling that story, ask him where Bunny Hunter Red is.
Was there a situation with David Kenner where David Kenner was being kidnapped? What was going on with that?
Yeah, there was an incident where they came up to the office and they was escorting him out. I guess they had got to Kenner. Because David Kenner was Harry O'Boy at one time. When I mean boy, I mean he was working for him. He was his attorney. And so they knew who David was. And I'm sure Harry O wanted to talk to him, was upset because he became more loyal to Suge than he did to Harry O. And they were walking him off the elevator. And we was just so happened getting on the elevator. And they kept walking and left David Kenner on the elevator. And David Kenner just said, y'all just saved my life. Y'all just saved my life. I don't know what they were about to do to me. Yeah. So that incident happened. I remember going up to meet Harry O at prison. And I used to have to ride up there with David Kenner because he was always scared that maybe somebody will be following him away from the prison or while he's pulling up to the prison or something. So he had fear of Harry O. But I don't know what their business were or the dealing.
So things got tense between Harry O and Suge and Death Row at one point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he did the Welcome to Death Row videotape, but prior to that, he sued. He was sitting down there at the grand jury testifying against Suge, trying to get, you know, a RICO case done against Suge. And so Harry O was upset. He felt he was beat out of the money. So the scenario goes, and I always ask this question because I don't have any bone either way about it. If I set you up, you, Capone, with Arthur Dallo, and say, hey, Capone got this going on and he's doing this. Art, you doing good money now? You know, you need to invest into Art's company. And you do, and Art does. Am I the investor? Is Art the investor? How the deal goes. How that deal went, only those 3 men know what the arrangements were. But that's how the deal went. Well, I ain't put up nothing. I just made an introduction. Me being Harry O, you being Suge, Art being the other guy, PJ. Who's the investors?
So Harry O, you don't believe invested any actual money then?
David Kenner always told Suge that he didn't get any money, that Harry O was tapped out from his, you know, the seizures by the government and from the all the attorney fees. If you know anything about a trial, criminal trial, they're going to drain you. They will drain you.
So at one point, he ends up suing again.
Correct.
Suge, I think around 2004, 2005, something like that.
Yeah.
And what happened with all that?
So Harry O refiled the lawsuit, got some different attorneys to handle it for him, and he brought in Interscope and Death Row. But this time, Interscope brought the paperwork to the judge and showed him, hey, we already dealt with this and settled it. But Interscope on their own pretty much now. They're not looking out for Death Row like they were then. And all Suge had to do was bring in the paperwork and say, that lawsuit that Interscope settled, we also sustain, or whatever the correct word is, to say we feel that the case was settled as well. But Suge playing attorney himself then. Got rid of everybody, don't have no attorneys. Using this crackpot named Sherry, some crazy attorney, and Lamont Givens. Didn't know what the hell they were doing, because they were letting Suge practice law.
Wow.
Yeah. Got himself a $107 million judgment just by not saying that this case has already been settled, which ultimately caused him not to file bankruptcy.
So he had to personally file bankruptcy after that.
personally and death row, the company, because they was coming after all his assets.
Sheesh. Okay.